Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रमाय जय सुदर्शन। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So we are in second canto, 10th chapter, shloka number 9. We'll continue our discussion from 9th shloka. Ekamekatara bhave yada nopala labhamahe त्रितयं तत्र यो वेद स आत्मा स्वाश्रयाश्रयः। एकमेकतरा भावे यदा नोपलभामहे त्रितयं तत्र यो वेद स आत्मा स्वाश्रयाश्रयः। एकमेकतरा भावे यदा नोपलभामहे त्रितयं तत्र यो वेद स आत्मा स्वाश्रयाश्रयः। Anyone? एकमेक तथा भावे yadha nopalabhamate. Ashrayah ekamekatara bhave yadha nopalabhamate tritayam tatra yo veda sa atma swashrayashrayah. Anyone else? ekamekatara bhave yadha nopalabhamahe tayam tatra yo veda sa atma swashrayashrayah. Okay, word to word meaning. Ekam, one. Ekatara, another. Abhave, in the absence of. Yada, because. Na, does not. Upalabhamahe, perceptible. Trutayam, in three stages. Tatra, there. Ya, the one. Veda, who knows. Saha, he. Atma, the super soul. Swa, own. Ashraya, shelter. Ashrayah, of the shelter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All three of the above mentioned stages of different living entities are interdependent. In the absence of one, another is not understood. But the Supreme Being who sees every one of them as the shelter of the shelter is independent of all, and therefore He is the Supreme Shelter. There are innumerable living entities, one dependent on the other in the relationship of the controlled and the controller. But without the medium of perception, no one can know or understand who is the controlled and who is the controller. For example, the sun controls the power of our vision. We can see the sun because the sun has its body, and the sunlight is useful only because we have eyes. Without our having eyes, the sunlight is useless, and without sunlight, the eyes are useless. Thus, they are interdependent, and none of them is independent. Therefore, the natural question arises concerning who made them interdependent. The one who has made such a relationship of interdependence must be ultimately completely independent. As stated in the beginning of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the ultimate source of all interdependent objectives is the complete independent subject. This ultimate source of all interdependence is the Supreme Truth or Paramatma, the Super Soul who is not dependent on anything else. He is Swashrayashrayah. He is only dependent on his self, and thus he is the supreme shelter of everything. Although Paramatma and Brahman are subordinate to Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is Purushottama or the super person, he is the source of the super soul also. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.18, Lord Krishna says that he is the Purushottama and the source of everything. And thus it is concluded that Sri Krishna is the ultimate source and shelter of all entities, including the super soul and supreme Brahman. Even accepting that there is no difference between the super soul and the individual soul. The individual soul is dependent on the super soul for being liberated from the illusion of material energy. The individual is under the clutches of illusory energy, and therefore, although qualitatively one with the super soul, he is under the illusion of identifying himself with matter. And to get out of this illusory conception of factual life, the individual soul has to depend on the super soul to be recognized as one with him. In that sense, also the supreme super soul is the supreme shelter, and there is no doubt about it. The individual living entity, the jiva, is always dependent on the super soul, Paramatma, because the individual soul forgets his spiritual identity, whereas the super soul, Paramatma, does not forget his transcendental position. In the Bhagavad Gita, these separate positions of the Jivatma and the Paramatma are specifically mentioned in the 4th chapter. Arjuna, the Jiva soul, is represented as forgetful of his many previous births, but the Lord, the super soul, is not forgetful. The Lord even remembers when he taught the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god some billions of years before. The Lord can remember such millions and billions of years, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.26 as follows. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. The Lord in his eternal blissful body of knowledge is fully aware of all that happened in the past, that which is going on at the present, and also what will happen in the future. But in spite of his being the shelter of both the Paramatma and Brahman, persons with a poor fund of knowledge are unable to understand him as he is. The propaganda of the identity of cosmic consciousness with the consciousness of the individual living entities is completely misleading, because even such a person or individual soul as Arjuna could not remember his past deeds, although he is always with the Lord. And what can the teeny ordinary man, falsely claiming to be one with the cosmic consciousness, know about his past, present and future? Let's chant our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadhanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So, yesterday His Grace Radha Krishna Chandra Prabhu was discussing about the three things, right, that is mentioned over here. All the three of the above mentioned stages of different living entities. What are all those three? Anyone remember who attended yesterday's class? Yes. So, Adhyatmic, it's on the person level. Adhyatmic, person, and Adi Daivik and Adi Bhautik. So, Adhyatmic person is under the control of Adi Daivik. So, I think that is a kind of clear explanation which is done yesterday by Prabhuji. So here it is mentioned, all the three of the above mentioned stages of different living entities are interdependent. All these three, Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik and Adi Daivik, three are interdependent. They are dependent on each other. So which is clearly explained in this purport by Srila Prabhupada. So, and it is also mentioned, in the absence of one, another is not understood. If we wanted to understand anything, if we wanted to understand what is Jiva, and we have to understand what is God, or what is the super soul, or what is this demigods, Adi Daivik, what kind of energies are acting on this individual soul. There is a kind of interdependence. If we don't understand that, and it's very difficult to understand the other thing as well. So it is mentioned, but the Supreme Being who sees every one of them as the shelter of the shelter, as independent of all. And again, there is the second point which we need to understand is, who is controlling all these Adhyatmik and Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik? He is independent. He is not interdependent. Interdependency is there, one is dependent on the other. But who created this is completely independent of this nature or everything. Oh no, he is the supreme shelter. So that thing we can try to understand from this discussion. Before proceeding with the discussion, I request all of you pray for me, and so that I can speak the right words at the right time and in the service of Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So here one good example given, right? There are innumerable living entities, one dependent in other relationship of the controlled and the controller, but without the medium of perception. What is this medium of perception? No one can know or understand who is controlled and who is the controller. Example is, the sun controls the power of our vision. Imagine if there is no sun. Is it possible for us to see anything in this material world? No, right? Even might be we can say that, okay, even without sun we are able to see in the nights, right? The light is there. We are, illuminating many lights in the temple hall and everywhere. If you go outside, in the olden days it used to be completely dark, even Hyderabad city or in the villages. In the villages especially, if you go in the nights outside, you can't see anything outside. Everything is dark. In our childhoods, when we were living in the villages, the lights are not there in the streets. If we go out, all the, by 7:30, 8 o'clock, everyone goes into sleep, because they don't do anything else other than sleeping at the night, because they don't have power, they don't have anything. From where there is this electricity generated, or light generated? Because it is coming from the sunlight and from the Panchabhutas, the energy is generated, and from there we are utilizing the light. But again, it is dependent on something, some energy. So without sun, we cannot see anything in this material world. Similarly, without eyes, we cannot see anything. There is sunlight, that's well and good, but the person is blind. Right? The person is blind. Is it any use of light for him? If he is blind, there is no use. He cannot see anything. So this is a kind of dependency which is created by the God. Even in the science, if you try to understand what exactly these colors all about, we have white, and this flower garland is having some red flowers and pink, something like that. We are able to see that because of the sunlight only. Otherwise it's very difficult. You cannot understand what kind of color you are looking at. That means the sunlight itself, it is having the different variations. We know that, right? Vibjyar. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai Sudarshan ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we know that Vibjyar, which is having different colors, and that the color combination is there. and the sunlight is having that color combination. That is the reason we are able to see the color. The light is reflecting on the things which we created, and due to that only we are able to see that as a blue color. There is orange color. Otherwise, it's very difficult. It's a kind of complexity and interdependent on each other. That's a kind of good example, and even we can understand a lot of things. Everything, whatever you see in the material nature, you can understand there is lot of interdependency. When I was trying to understand this example, we know the energy which is coming from the sun is only cause of this photosynthesis in the plants. We read it in the science, like the trees, the plants and leaves are in green color. Why those are in green color? It's having the chlorophyll, and the sunlight is coming and getting contacted with the chlorophyll, and it is generating the energy, and that energy is coming into the existence of the food life cycle. The animals are eating that leaves, and from there, the different animals eating the animals. There is a complete interdependency there. That is called as a food life cycle. Even we are eating vegetarian food, we are getting the energy from the plants, but the energy is coming from the plants is coming from the sunlight. So there is a lot of interdependency. And also I was reading one of the other, I was into science background in the past. I read this biological phenomena, botany, how this pollination happens with the flowers. You see, there are innumerable flowers with the different colors and with the different fragrances, and which are attracted by the bees, honeybees. The honeybees goes and squeezes the honey from the flower, right? We can understand, if you don't have the understanding of interdependency of the nature, if you read it and if you try to understand, when the bee touches the flower and squeezes the honey, that is not only taking the honey, it is also taking the pollen on the flower. How? The legs catches the pollen, and that pollen grains, when it moves to the other flower of the same species, the pollen will be put into that flower, and then the fruits, vegetation happens and the fruits comes out of that. See how complicated or how fine-tuned material nature which is given by Krishna. It's completely interdependent. This is on the material plane, or in the nature we can understand. That way the fruits are coming out, and we are eating those fruits and we are enjoying. Recently we are done with the summer season, where we got a lot of nice different varieties of mangoes with the different tastes. If you taste one mango, it tastes different, and if you taste Himayat, that will have a different taste. Lot of varieties. See the interdependency between the animals, birds. There are a lot of other mediums also. The pollen will be taken care by the water also. Sometimes it goes in the water, in the air. Even there is a phenomena, honeybee buzzes, right? It roams around the flower for some time. With that air also, some of the pollen falls into the other flower, and the pollination happens. So there is lot of interdependency within the nature, and there is a lot of interdependency between the nature and gods. We can call demigods, right? If we need rains, yesterday it was very heavy rain, right? We say, who gives the rains? Indra. And also we call Varuna Dev. Varuna Dev gives the rain. So there is a dependency. If we don't have rains, what we'll do? My brother did some puja with 1,000 Kalash Abhishek to Lord Shiva in his temple to get the rains. We have a dependency, we can pray for the god like by doing some yajnas, yagas, there is a sloka in Bhagavad Gita, right? Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaivatena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Bhavayanta Parasparam, something else. So if you offer something to the yajna, and you will get rains. If you do yajna for Indra, and he will give you the rains. So like that, Adi Daivik and Ajhatmika, Adi Bhautik, all three are interdependent on each other. If there is no interdependency, we cannot survive. And we cannot understand this material nature at all. That is what it is mentioned, like, but without the medium of perception, no one can know or understand who is the controlled and who is the controller. With these couple of examples, the sun is giving the sunlight, and the sunlight is the cause of our vision. So there is a dependency. Adi Daivik and the Adi Bhautik and Adhyatmik. And as we taken the example of the pollination, there is interdependency between the animals, birds, different species. So without understanding this, we cannot understand who is controlling this. Otherwise, we are having big, books with the science. We say it as a science. All the science and inventions, whatever there in this material world, are only finding out what is there, right? Did they find the pollination? Did they find did they invented the sun? No. Did they invented the sunlight? This is a kind of phenomena. This is that, okay, from sun to sunlight reaches to earth, it takes 8 minutes, I think. So there is a science says that, okay, this is what it is. That is there. Just we are saying that this is what it is happening. We are not inventing new things. We are only bringing the things which are there. We are trying to connecting the dots and saying that this is a story. And then we are calling it as a book of science. And everything is science. So that is a kind of illusion where we are switched off. So, then we go, therefore the natural question arises concerning who made them interdependent. Then if we start thinking about the nature and what is happening, how difficult it is. Every day we take, a number of breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. No one, I think, in this busy world, no one thinks that I am getting the air from the God. No, I am taking, air is there and taking it. Breathing in and breathing out. Without breathing, is it possible for us to live in this earth? It's not possible. We are polluting the air. We are polluting all, 5 elements, Panchabhutas, without knowing. If we start thinking and if we start asking the questions, why this nature? What is this air all about? What is this earth? And what is this, planetary systems? Why this, air purification is happening like anything? Even, there is lot of industries opened up and lot of pollution is happening, but the air is always purified by the nature. So like that, if we start questioning what is exactly happening with this nature, and then we come to a question that who made this? Then, as stated in the beginning of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the ultimate source of all interdependent objectives is the complete independent subject. See, if they are interdependent, that means they are dependent on the other. Human is dependent on the nature. Animals, birds, trees. And trees and birds, animals also dependent on the other living entities. That means a man cannot say that, okay, I created this. Because he is already dependent on something else. And how he can create something? So, who created this should be independent. Right? If he is independent, then only he can create this. For example, there are two prisoners. Their hands are tied with the rope or whatever, with the hatkadi. Is it possible for the one person to get the other person relieved? No, right? Because both are tied with that, and it's not possible. Similarly, there is an interdependency between the two living entities. How one can relieve the other, one can give the liberation to the other. So, the creator of this nature, this Srishti, should be independent, not interdependent. Hope you are getting my point. I am making independent and interdependent as kind of looks same, but interdependence is dependent on the other. Independent is not dependent on anything. That is, as stated in the beginning of the Srimad. What is the shloka? Janmadhyasya yatonvayati tarata. In that shloka, it is clearly mentioned. Can we look into that? I think. Can you open this, bro? Janmad. Now, can you? So, Janmadhyasya yatonvayati tarataschaddeshvabhignaswarat tene brahma hrudayadikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejo vari mrudam yadha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Just we see the translation. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful humble obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation. He is the cause of all causes of the creation. Sustenance and destruction of the manifested universe. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestation and is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He is independent. It's clearly mentioned in the Bhagavatam, first canto, first shloka itself. It is only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him, the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature. Okay, Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvesha. All the three modes of nature are binding us, which are influencing us to live our life in this material world. And only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. It looks like everything is factual. In this material world, we think this body is permanent, these properties are permanent, and the people who are along with us, staying with us, our family and friends, relatives, we think that everything is real. But it's actually unreal. Appear factual, but they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So, vadanti tattatva vidastatvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So, ultimate goal of life is absolute truth, and it's a Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. So, how to go back? I think I was sorry for that. Is okay. Okay, so similarly we can understand here in this sloka there is one word at the end, sarvashraya shreyaha. So everything is dependent on Supreme. Even demigods, whoever giving all the rains and everything, it's a kind of dependency is there on Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then only we are getting all the required things in this material world. Okay. Yeah, he is Sarvashreya Ashreya, he is only dependent on his self, and thus he is the supreme shelter of everything. Do you remember any sloka which is, Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Maniganaiva. So, there is a, what is that? Sutre Maniganaiva. There is a thread, which is binding the pearls, yeah. So, there is nothing else other than me, which everything is dependent on me. By this sloka we can understand. Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya is telling to Arjuna that there is nothing there without my existence. So from that sloka we can understand. Although Paramatma and Brahman are subordinate to Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is Purushottama. There is a sloka in 15.18. We'll see that 15.18 also. Sloka. I will read it. Yasmadksharam Yasmadksharamaatoham Aksharaadapi chottamaha atosmi loke vedecha pratitah Purushottamaha. So because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. I am the Purushottama. He is the absolute truth of this nature, this Srishti. Okay. Lord Krishna says that he is the Purushottama and the source of everything, and thus it is concluded that Sri Krishna is the ultimate source and shelter of all entities, including the super soul and supreme Brahman. Okay, and also it is mentioned to Arjuna in 4th chapter about the soul and existence. Like Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvam Neme Janadipa Nachaiva na Bhavishyamaha Sarvevaya Matah Param. I am there, you are there. Krishna says to Arjuna, and all the kings who are there, they are existing in the past, and they are there now, and they are also going to be having their personality in the future also. That means like he is the source of everything. And he is saying that because he knows everything. He knows the present, past, present and future. Right? That is the reason he is saying that. And we can understand one more sloka. Krishna says to Arjuna about this knowledge, whatever I have given this knowledge to sun god in the past. What is the sloka? Imam vivasvate yogam proktavana ahamavyam. In the sloka what Krishna says, by that we can understand. Krishna, remember, billions of years back he told that to sun god, and that knowledge to re-establish, he is again telling that to Arjuna. So there is a remembrance is there for Krishna, but not with the Arjuna. There are many pastimes might be with Arjuna, but Arjuna cannot remember what happened with Krishna. In our lives also as a jiva, it is very difficult to remember what happened yesterday. I think yesterday I got some good experience. Due to lot of usage of phone, we are getting into the memory loss, it seems. Small things. We were discussing, I was discussing with one of the well-wisher about Jagannath Kshetra, about some pastime. And in between, someone interfered between our discussion. And after that, I was not able to recall, what I was discussing with him. Or he was mentioning the same. I am also getting the similar kind of, memory loss these days. Because a lot of phone usage, our brain cells might be, not able to recall. This is the limitations we have in our material world. But Krishna is not like that. He is supreme. He can remember everything and anything. And he knows what is happened in the past, and he knows what is happening now, and what is going to happen in the future. That is the position of Krishna as an independent. But we are dependent on even the mobile phones. Without these mobile phones, we cannot do anything on this material world nowadays. To see, to contact, to discuss, to plan, everything is dependent on this mobile phone nowadays. I think rather than saying on the nature, we are nowadays, humankind is more dependent. And in the trains when we are traveling, in the Mayapur Yatra, everyone is using their mobile phones only. Sleeping or, whatever, they have earphones in there, and nowadays even they are losing their, common sense. They are putting loudspeakers and watching the shorts and videos and continuously, the freedom is there in India. You can do anything and whatever you want. So, lot of dependency is increased on the mobile phone for us nowadays. So, here you can understand that the individual is under the clutches of illusory energy. This is one of the best example where we are under the Maya, under the clutches of illusory. We are thinking, at least I am thinking that, how to avoid this. Without this, we cannot do anything. Every moment, every second, every minute we are checking the WhatsApp messages. Even I feel sometimes, during the seva also we are completely dependent on the mobile. the seva related information, what needs to be done next and what needs to be, what we have done in the past, everything is media. I think that is one of the reason the short memory loss. So, and to get out of this illusionary conception of actual life, the individual soul has to depend on the super soul to be recognized as one with him. So then how to get out of this illusory situation? If we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and everything is under the control of Krishna, and if we start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then our life is fulfilled, right? Otherwise it's very difficult. In the media, and couple of years back I received one message, or I've seen in the Facebook. One of the lady lost everything on the memory side, and she remembers only Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How sweet it is, right? So you lose your memory completely and remember only Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra and keep chanting. You don't remember anyone. Okay? So, also recently I was discussing with my wife, one cine actor, he left his body recently. What is his name? He's a famous comedian, Koda Srinivasarao. Recently came to know that, might be it is coming in the news, his wife is memory loss. Like she don't remember anyone. And even his husband, she don't remember his husband. That's what he's revealed recently or something like that. She shouts always on him. And still he was with her throughout his life. So, why I am saying this is, we have short of memory. We don't remember anything. We feel that everything is under our control. We are trying to master this nature, which is created by Krishna, and we are thinking that I am the creator, I am making everything in this material world perfect. That false ego is running in our minds, and we are thinking, and we are doing a lot of sinful activities in this material world. The individual living entity, the jiva, is always dependent on the super soul Paramatma, because the individual soul forgets his spiritual identity, whereas the super soul Paramatma does not forget his transcendental position. This is also one of the reasons we forgot our spiritual identity. We forgot, like we are thinking that we are this physical body. We are not soul. Due to that, we are getting into the contact with Maya, and getting in contact with the material energy. We are getting in the contact with three modes of nature, and which are controlling us to do lot of sinful activities, lot of activities, karma, actions in this material world, and which is binding us to this material world. And we are continuously traveling in the Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshana, birth, death, old age, and disease life cycle. So, similarly, we can understand that Krishna is the supreme of everything. There is one sloka we can remember, like Mayadhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. I am the controller of everything, and even Sachara Acharam, which is moving and non-moving, living and non-living. Everything is under the control of my energies. Krishna is having what are the energies? He is having internal energy and external energy, and the souls which are binded by the marginal potency, which is conjugated with these two energies. So that is the reason, as a soul we are completely dependent on Adi Dhaivik, and also on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is also one more sloka which is given by Srila Prabhupada here. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda nakaschana. The Lord in his eternal blissful body of knowledge is fully aware of all that happened in the past, that which is going on at the present, and also what will happen in the future. But in spite of his being the shelter of both the Paramatma and Brahman, persons with a poor fund of knowledge are unable to understand him as he is. So there are innumerable energies which are there in this material world, which is hiding Krishna from visibility. Nowadays this media is making a big role, with small recently I got couple of links from one of my relative mentioning about couple of small points which are explained by the devotees. By taking that particular point, he is making a point why ISKCON is doing like this, and why Krishna, he was seriously following Krishna consciousness or ISKCON, but suddenly he got some polluted videos into his inbox, and then he started thinking, what should I do now? So Maya is always there, and it takes you away, and it gives you a try whether this soul or this person is really serious about Krishna consciousness or not. So we have to be very careful when we are looking at the media and YouTube, especially in the videos. It is very difficult to identify who is doing what. And nowadays people are taking as granted, maybe bit educated people, they can understand what is happening, who is right and who is wrong. But there are many population or many people in India, especially, for example, they are poor, they don't have proper education. Whatever they they have smartphones in their hand, and they are continuously scrolling on the shorts, and they are thinking, if there are many views for a particular video, that is truth. It is a false thing. I think you see this recently, the plane crash, you see thousands of videos created by the thousands of people. Before the people of, the authority reveals what happened with the plane, everyone is giving their explanations, videos, AI videos. You can't imagine what exactly happening with this, which is truth, which is false information. Until recent time, those videos are running around. So we have to be very careful, otherwise the illusory energy will take away from our path on the Krishna consciousness, and then we will be bewildered and fallen into the clutches of Maya, and will be in the birth and death, old age and disease life cycle. We continue our life like that. So here in the last, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, what can the tiny ordinary man falsely? Arjuna, he himself bewildered in the Bhagavad Gita, and he was mentioning many points and something like that. As an ordinary human being in this material world, how you can understand, how you say that Aham Brahmasmi, I am the controller of everything. I can become controller of everything. One individual soul can become super soul. There is a kind of illusionary philosophies are propagated all over the world or the universe, what we can say. So that is a kind of thing which we can understand. So soul is interdependent on the Adidhaivik, and the super soul Krishna as a Paramatma is independent, not interdependent. Okay. So that way we can understand the connection between these three stages, like Adi Dhaivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. Okay, and there is one point I remember, and even the dependency, for example, I am speaking here and everyone is able to listen, the sound is coming. And imagine if there is no air, is it possible to hear the sound? No air, it's a vacuum, empty space. In the space, sound cannot travel. See the dependency, just I am able to recall that point also. So there is a lot of dependencies there and with God and the energies. So that way we understand our position and surrender to Krishna by loudly saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Any comments or questions from anyone? Yes, Prabhu.
So here in purport, in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada says,
yes. Can I go
that Krishna means the things have been created which are like interdependent.
Yes.
So by observing the things or interdependency of the things, we can conclude or we can say that one who has created them, he is independent.
Yes.
But this may not be true in all cases. Just like someone has created this electricity and this microphone. They are interdependent for speaking. But one who has created, he is also dependent. He is not fully independent.
Yeah. So there is the thing which the example which you have taken is on the material plane. But if you understand this spiritual and the material, the Krishna is the creator of everything. He is not dependent on anything. He is independent. But on the creation, what we are thinking, creation, whatever we identified, that is a creation. Electricity as an energy, it is already there. And we are identified that the water flows in the downpour and then you can generate something. Okay, that energy is already there. Just you are creating something, and so that you can get electricity out of it. That is not the real creation. Real creation is done by the God, and whatever the interdependencies which are created by the God, who is independent of everything. But not on the material plane. If I create something, creating is not as such, like we cannot create iron as it is, right? Iron is there, already there in the earth. You have to dig it out and find out and bring it into the shape. That is not a creation. Creation is, it appears by the will of God. Right, Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Radhakam Prabhu, you want to give some explanation? So, yeah. Got the point, right? It's some material plane creation. What we are thinking is not the real creation. The creation which, on the spiritual plane, which we can understand, whatever exists in this nature, in the Srishti, and everything is created by God. But He is independent of everything. Okay, Prabhuji? Thank you very much. Grandaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrunda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.